Mheshimiwa Sossion, you've been speaking about this. What is your biggest discomfort with how this issue turned out?
Not really discomfort, but how we are getting this episode right. I think we are jumping the gun, and we have discussed the politics of it, the validity of the script itself, and forgot to look at the basic aspects of where it started. The whole of this matter started at the school. Yep. When the principal wrote to the drama teacher to show cause why the script was changed. I think that is where it started. And it did not stop there. The board of management sought to withdraw the play from the festivals. And I think this is more of internal school conflict than even outside. And that opened up quite a number of things. Who is the script writer? It is Cleophas Malala, which is okay. Anybody can write a script and give it to a school. But then, who actually, in terms of the law, I'm talking about the law and procedures and policies. I don't want to dwell on the politics, merits and demerits of other issues. Article 23 of the TSC Act, Part 2, Paragraph 2, says a person shall not engage in the teaching service unless such a person is registered as a teacher under this act. It's very clear. And co-curricular activities is the most emotional aspect of teaching. I'm saying so having been a drama teacher, scriptwriter, and manager of drama as well. So it is not going to, even Kenya National Drama Festival rules doesn't allow non-teachers to direct students. Non-teachers can write scripts. Anybody, Malala can write even scripts for all the schools in Kenya, but he cannot, by law, walk into a school and direct students. This was further enhanced by a circular of 13 June 2018 by the Teacher Service Commission. These are facts of law, and my brother here should be patient about it. And this was never brought even to the attention of the court. In paragraph 2 of the circular, it says, person not registered as teachers, including teachers whose names have been removed from the register of teachers, should not be incorporated in the school programs, including co-curricular activities, to teach, handle, manage, coach, supervise, and or assist in the teaching, handling, managing, coaching, supervision of pupils and learners. I think, Sam, we must come we must accept the fact of the provision of the Law TSC Act, which is flowing from the Constitution of Kenya, part of the implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And we all participated in drafting this, which has been implemented via circular. And this circular was released by TSC after 9 girls lost their lives at Moi Nairobi Girls. And it was connected to some non-teachers who were involved in entertainment activities within the school. That's a fact of history. I visited the school. So here, we are talking largely about the safety of students. We are talking about the regulations. Are we complying fast before we discuss the literature of it? In fact, when we talk even about the set books, the set books are vetted by KICD, and they are controlled and taught in class by professional teachers. So there is nothing harmful. But when you get a politician who is engaged in political wars to impose a script on students and take full control of a school, then it is a tragedy. It goes even against the provisions of Article 23 of the Constitution. Of course, there is freedom of expression.
Which section are you referring to, TSC Act?
I'm referring to TSC Act Section 23.
That section is misleading, and we must correct the impression.
And it has been implemented.
That section,
So allow him to finish.
It has been implemented via a circular, and it is clear, and it is implemented within the rules. You've heard the statements of the Cabinet Secretary Interior, Principal Secretary Interior, and the Cabinet Secretary Education. Of course, they don't have the privilege to come and speak here, but of course, we are a country of laws. Nobody can participate. Let me tell you something. The most emotional, and is what you call in child psychology affective domain, where you affect the character of the learner, is co-curricular activities, and it must be done by the teachers. It is within the Kenya Drama Festival
You're referring
rules.
to Section 23.
So what we are talking here is breach of rules, blatant breach of rules.
Breach of rules, you say. Section 23 of the TSC Act, Commission to register teachers. The Commission shall, in accordance with Article 237 of the Constitution, be responsible for the registration of trained teachers in the teaching service.
Yes.
Subsection 2 says a person shall not engage in the teaching service unless such person is registered as a teacher under this Act.
Correct. And the circular of 13th June even clarifies, and I've read paragraph 2.
No. We're reading the Act.
There is no clarity.
The Act is implemented via circulars.
No.
That circular exists, and it remains valid.
So let me read for you the definition of teaching service that is referred to in Section 23(2). Teaching service means the collectivity of all individuals registered by the Commission and engaged in the teaching profession, whether employed by the Commission or not. And let me just scroll down. And teaching standards means standards of teaching prescribed by the Commission. So really, it doesn't expressly refer to co-curricular activities.
Just for the benefit of the SG.
Sorry, allow him.
No, it is my turn. You had your
No, it's
turn.
okay, Mheshimiwa Sossion. Just finish up because we need to circulate the question.
I think it is important you understand, and we all understand. It's very specific. A person shall not engage in the teaching service. Teaching service unless co-curricular activities is part of teaching. Who said it is not? And in all our schools, there are over 45 co-curricular activities to be undertaken by teachers. You know, all of us have been through schools. And this is the work of teachers. And for sake of clarification of
Mheshimiwa
this...
Sossion, the Act itself has defined what teaching service is.
Yes, and paragraph 2 has made it very clear. And even the circular, I've read the circular, you can't. The circular is a living document. It's legal, it is binding,
what
and it is
it the circular or the Act?
Both of them work together. The circular is flowing from the Act. And I'm saying so from experience. Because I participated in the drafting of the current TSC Act, and we negotiated every item clause by clause. And this pronouncement has been made. And they are in force.
I'll come back to you.
We must correct this impression.
A crime that has been perpetuated over time. And
it's a crime.
Yes, it is. Because
a crime must be defined by law. It should tell you which section of the criminal statute defines this crime.
Because
let's allow him. Yes.
It is a gross breach of the existing provision of the law. And Article 23, we've talked about it. And this was... all the clauses were negotiated, and it went through public participation process. We all participated. I was part of it, Ndurima, and the rest of us. And
process of what?
The Article 23(2). That is very
Section
specific.
23.
Yes. So that when you talk about teaching, what is teaching?
Which I thought you had agreed that it does not criminalize or make it an offense for a non-teacher.
We have not agreed. You have said it.
No, we have
not agreed. We haven't. I haven't. And don't generalize, Sam. Don't generalize. The law, the provision remains as it is, and it is in force. And even in the past, non-teachers have been involved in taking over teaching duties. Then it doesn't mean it has been right. It has been a crime.
I want you to continue to proceed with the line of thought, but I'm having a challenge in your reading of Section 23(2).
You shouldn't have any challenge because we are trying to interpret to suit what we think.
No.
But we are trying to interpret to suit what we think.
It's written in plain English.
Sami, allow me.
I will allow you, but first, let us get this out of the way.
Allow me.
That the Commission shall, in accordance with Article 237 of the Constitution, be responsible for the registration of trained teachers in the teaching service. Then, a person shall not engage in the teaching service unless such person is registered as a teacher under this Act. Teaching service is already defined as the people taking part in that particular sector. Correct. It's like public service.
Correct. And so anybody engaging in teaching... Now, let's come to co-curricular activities. Let's come to co-curricular activities.
Yes.
Is it teaching? Is it part of teaching or is not? And in fact, if you proceed and look at...
Thurima, who is a teacher, representing teachers,
I'm also a teacher.
Representing teachers.
It is, in fact, is core. And that is why The circular is generated by TSC, the owners and the users of the piece of legislation. And this circular is generated by also a team of lawyers who are not privileged to be here. And of course, when we have one or two lawyers who are arguing for the other side, they'll have that fair benefit. You have read that particular clause, which talks about including co-curricular activities to teach, to handle, to manage, to coach, to supervise. It is written in simple English.
That is a circular outside.
It is a circular. It is a circular but that circular is in effect, is effective. It's effective. And that explains why the regional director raised questions. Yeah. And when the regional director raised questions, the principal raised a show cause letter. Why did the principal raise a show cause letter? And it is signed by the principal, who is the agent of the commission. And let us go down. The teacher responds by saying, scripting and directing of the play, while I hold the title of the drama teacher, I wish to state that I neither scripted nor directed the said play in question. And this admission contravenes the Kenya National Drama Festival rules. I've been in the management, the National Committee of Drama. You can't allow non-teachers to take over duties of directing. They can script and they can give you, and as a drama teacher, you can direct. The authority to write, this is what the teacher is saying, the authority to write and direct the play was given to a non-staff member. This is a confession of the teacher. A former senator, Mr. Cleophas Malala, under your explicit instructions and supervisions. These are facts that are coming out. You see, let us not try and defend what is wrong. For me, I would always state what is right. In fact, if we look at the whole management of drama, flowing from the Constitution with the freedom of art and whatnot, it also prohibits indoctrination and all that. And then flowing down to the TSC Act, it guides. Flowing down to the Kenya National Drama Festivals, they're very clear. Flowing down to the regulation.
The Drama Festival rules bar a non-teacher from writing a play.
Absolutely. No, it doesn't. From writing, you can write. That is where the resource persons come in. The limitation is write, but give it to the school.
I have that booklet, and he is lying. No. I want to give him. I have that booklet.
It's okay.
You had your time in court. You have your time here, but let those of us who have not had time have it. Now, once, yes, this is a fact and this is a truth. You can adopt a script by Sam Gituku. You are not a teacher, you are a journalist. Yeah. Write a script for my school. Give me the script. I can adopt it. We can adopt it as a school and even amend and review, what you call adapting. Yes. So you are allowed to adapt it to suit the level of the learners. It's very specific within the rules.
So the problem is myself appearing to train learners.
But now when you come in to train and you even get to the National Drama Festivals, you run to the villages where girls are staying. And you know the villages where girls are staying in the National Drama Festival management, it is prohibited for male persons.
Okay.
Now when you look at the drama...
If they are training, because they've been training teachers, especially at the primary level, to adapt to the CBC mode of delivery, what have they been doing to prepare for human resource to deliver this curriculum? Because you're talking about arts and sports science. Some of the elective subjects, you have music and dance, theatre and film and fine art.
Sam, I've given you the gaps and and how we failed right from the beginning. We have asked in the context of TSC. What they've been doing is capacity building. And I think that capacity building should not even have been at TSC. It should be domiciled at the ministry. It is in the recommendation of the Presidential Working Party, and I'm sure once the session of paper is adopted in Parliament, that will be aligned. What TSC should have done during the initial stages at the design, they should have given a proper advisory to the government on the teacher requirement in every grade. For example, grade 7, 8, and 9, TSC should have advised, and we should have a position paper on the teacher requirement to satisfy the curriculum in JS, to satisfy the curriculum in senior secondary. That was not done. It's good we tell ourselves as a country, that was not done. And since it was not done, what is the next thing that we'll do? It is only schools that are able to offer who will be able to offer. And going into the future, because the 3 pathways were supposed to be availed in all schools. so that there is equity in access.
All right.
And there will be no national school, no extra county, no classification of schools. All schools are supposed to be equal, and therefore all the pathways are supposed to be available. That calls for training of adequate teachers to deliver in those particular areas. And it is sad, it is not going to be available in all schools. It will be available in schools where they've recruited teachers for those particular subjects.
Which will disadvantage a lot of learners in this country.
Of course, that's a fact.
All right.
View of recalibration of the entire education system and model, which was closed in the previous regime, and flowing from the recommendations of the public. Grade 7, 8, and 9 was domiciled in the primary and recommended that it would be changed to a model called comprehensive school. And that is the most brilliant idea that has been conceived, because that is going to make education accessible to all the households without limitations of cost. Because had we continued with the other arrangement with the current secondary schools that are suffering from congestion and many challenges, in fact, households would have been slapped again with fee structures. You know, we must get rid of this. And in fact, the idea of inculcating value-based education must go on up to grade 9, and children have to remain within the current primary schools and model as it is, so that there is a continuum of interaction with homes. But the most important thing is to eliminate the challenges. In fact, we would have had a lot of problems at the moment. Going forward into the future, the review is constant and continuous. Nothing is cast in stones. Even the subject areas, I raised them here. The content that it was too much, high-pitched and too many. For JS, it was reduced from 14 to 9. So you can see this has been a lot of tremendous program. And the teacher question, I agree, it's an open thing that needs to be done. To bring in additional teachers from other skilled areas like music, home science, electricity, power mechanics, and those other subjects, we probably may need to open up the postgraduate provision by the Teacher Service Commission, so that we engage those who are skilled in those particular areas within a short time. It is possible to work innovatively around and ensure that gradually what was not done is done. Right. It may not be an instant, it's not an event, it is a process. Right. So according to me, I think the commitment of government and opening up to review the curriculum and eliminate the gaps and challenges that were there is a good thing, and we should take advantage of that. And very lastly, let us conduct education within the law and ensure that the best interest of the child is at the center. And we cannot throw away the provisions of the law, the provisions of regulations and circulars, and ignore them as pieces of paper and hide behind what we call the Constitution and argue
supremacy of the Constitution.
The Constitution is supreme,
and sovereignty of the people.
Let's not open that
document. Sovereignty.
Let us not open that matter. I think
the best interest of the child is what we need to protect at all times within the Constitution, within the law,
I am sure when it comes to best interest of the child.